So I have an office in a building that I share with another company. And when I come in, a lot of times I notice pretty regularly passing people's desks, I'll notice sticky notes stuck to the desk or stuck to monitors. And usually on one of those sticky notes is like a word or some word and numbers. And the reason that I notice these sticky notes is because I have them on my own desk. I have a notebook where often there will be scribbles of a word or some combination of numbers. And so what is this? These are passwords. They're often passwords either that have been scribbled down or shared among employees, or in my case, perhaps it's a password that I have gotten from a client when we've been on the phone. I'm getting their password to be able to access and log into something that I'm working on for them. And all of this represents ways not to ideally manage your online security and your passwords in your business. And that's just because of, obviously, the security concerns whenever you're writing down passwords and maybe you're in person and you're sharing on a sticky note. But we all know that's probably not the safest way to share vital information, such as account passwords. And so by having another way to do that that's just as secure, but also just as convenient, is really important when you're working in a business. Especially if you have a business that's a startup and you're in a mode where you're growing fast and you're adding accounts quickly and you're setting things up, and every day you're probably expanding, 10 times faster. And when you're doing all of that, it's really important to have a place to organize and store all of that account information and passwords securely. And to do it in something like a spreadsheet or to have it scribbled down on a notebook or on sticky notes is one of the worst ways you could possibly do that. And a great way, if you're a startup, to manage your passwords is to use a password manager. And usually the best way to pick one is to pick one that's just going to be convenient. And convenient for you as a user, just to be able to organize and track all of the different accounts that you're setting up, but also to be able to share with your new team members, or if you're hiring contractors from time to time. You want to have a password manager that's secure, but also just super easy and convenient that you don't have to think about. And so LogMeOnce is a password manager that I prefer because of this, because of its ease and ability to share passwords with people in my team and to revoke access to a password. Say if I've hired a contractor for a certain period of time, I tend to work in the web development world. So when I hire someone maybe to work with me on a particular project, and when that project ends, I don't want them to still have access to the account. And so by using a password manager like LogMeOnce, I can set the access to a particular account for a certain time period, and I can revoke that access. Or I can just give access and then say, if you have someone that you're sharing a password with and their position is terminated or you're no longer working with them, you can just easily revoke access. And you can see at any given time who has access to the different accounts you have set up under your main password manager account. So password managers like LogMeOnce make it easy to be able to give that kind of control and to be able to turn things off and on and manage your teams as you're growing so rapidly. Because it's one thing you can very quickly lose track of, which is just organizing all of that account information. Another thing I really like about LogMeOnce, especially if you're a startup, is the ability to organize your passwords. So in my case, I might organize them by particular projects, so a particular client name and a project within that client's folder. I can organize my passwords that way. Or I can organize my passwords such as like business accounting, business administration, marketing and social media. Like I can organize my accounts that way, however you want to do it. LogMeOnce makes it easy to create folders and organize your passwords in a way that's very similar to like folders on your computer or folders in something like Google Drive or Dropbox. The other cool thing, speaking of Google Drive and Dropbox and third-party storage sites such as that, is that LogMeOnce, when you're using it for your business, it comes with a feature called Cloud Encrypter. And what that does is it encrypts the files that you would save to something like Dropbox or Microsoft OneDrive or whatever. When you're saving, big files, maybe sharing images or documents or videos or whatever in these third-party cloud locations, LogMeOnce has a way to encrypt those files before you upload them. And then when you download them, they can be decrypted. So it's another great way to share files or store files in a third-party location that's not on your computer or your network, and yet still make sure that they're super secure by having them have this additional layer of encryption. So there's features like that that I particularly like about LogMeOnce, and it does make them a really ideal solution if you are a startup or you work in a fast-growing, changing company that has lots of needs for online security, and those needs are expanding or contracting all the time. So thank you for watching this video. If you're curious to try out LogMeOnce, they have a free trial. You can just see if it works for you and your team, what you think of it, and get started today. You can go to logmeonce.com and you can just sign up for a trial and give it a shot. See what you think. Thanks for watching.